Then after the Canaanites, we came from Egypt. The Jews came from Egypt after being slaves in Egypt, and they built a country here, independent country, three kings, King Saul, King David, and King Solomon. And King Solomon built the first temple on the top of Mount Moriah. This temple was destroyed by the Babylonians. And then the Persians came here, and the irony of the history is that the Persians, on that time, their leader, his name was Koresh. He said the Jews can't come back to the land because this is their land. The leaders of Iran nowadays don't continue this legacy, unfortunately. After the Persians, the Greeks came from Athens, Piraeus, who came from Piraeus, the Greeks. They ruled here, and at that time, the temple continued, but was unpure by the Greeks. And then the Romans came, the people with the pizza and the Lamborghini, good people, but at that time the Roman Empire was very bad to this place. They destroyed the second temple, they destroyed Jerusalem, they gave Jerusalem a new name, Ilia Capitolina, and they gave this land the name Palestine. After the Romans, the Christianity started here. This is the beginning of the Christianity, the first church here. Queen Helena with her son Constantine, they were the Byzantines. And Queen Helena and her son Constantine built this church, the church in Bethlehem, the church in Nazareth, the three first churches of the world. Then the first Muslims came to this area, the first time of the Muslims, and they built on the same place of the two temples, their mosque that we saw in the beginning, the Gold Mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Then another group of Christians came, the Crusaders. They came from Europe, Richard the Lionheart, I'm sure you study about him. And they built a lot of fortresses all over Israel. Their capital was Akko, not Jerusalem, Akko. And then another type of Muslims came, the Mamelukes, and they defeat the Crusaders. They defeat them. Their king of the Mamelukes was Salah ad-Din. He was the great Arab leader, and Saddam Hussein used to say that he is the second Salah ad-Din. After the Mamelukes, the Ottomans came, the Turks, for 400 years. At the end of the First World War, the Ottoman Empire collapsed and only Turkey remained. And in the year 1917, the British came here. The British got Israel, Jordan, and Egypt. The French got Syria and Lebanon. At the end of the First World War, the British were here 31 years. They did good things, they did bad things. One of the good things I told you in the past, the decision that Jerusalem will be restored. Some other stuff they did bad. And then in 1948, 14th of May, the independence of the State of Israel, because the British left. The British left and the UN called for a Jewish state here. And this is the declaration of Israel in Tel Aviv. So what we're going to see now, we're going to see three periods. The Byzantine period, in the Crusader period, and nowadays. So the first church that was built here was during the Byzantine, in the 4th century here. This was the first church on the place where Jesus died and real life. Then it was destroyed by the Muslims. And then the Crusaders rebuilt it. Crusader time, the Crusader rebuilt it, and this font is from the Crusader time, from this time. This font, inside the church, but this is the main font of that time. Then there were also 2 earthquakes, and everything was destroyed. In the 60s of the last century, they did a renewal of the church, and nowadays it's a very known church, very unique. And what you need in the church is the last 5 stations of the Via Dolorosa are inside. Here on the top is the place, this is the 10th station, when the tomb is closed and divided into people. Then when you go inside, you go downstairs on the right side, you go to the Golgotha. In the Golgotha, there's a picture of Miriam watching, and then this is the 12th one. The 13th one is where he was crucified. And then in front of you, you go down, in front of you, you see a picture, and you see a big stone. On this stone, they put his body, and put oil on his body, and covered him with white clothes. This is the Jewish custom. When you die, when somebody dies, you cover with white clothes. And then the grave is on the left side. But about the grave, usually there is life forever. You need to wait 2-3 hours. If there is a miracle, there is no life. So if not, there is no time. But go to the right.